So by now, we've evaluated our own domain against the pillars of the balanced digital scorecard. We largely know how we're doing in terms of platform, content, audience, and our calls to action. Now, we need to go and identify our search competitors and do the same thing for those guys. So I like to use SEMrush for this part. I don't want you going into Google and just searching for random keyword terms, because as you all know by now, that won't be a comprehensive view of all the keyword terms that you're targeting and all of the competitors out there that you may not realize you're competing with. I like SEMrush because it's a robust tool and it's very intuitive and pretty easy to use. If you are trying to figure out which of the tools from this course you should invest in, I recommend SEMrush first and foremost. It's a great SEO community tool. I know most of my colleagues use it, and I use it on pretty much a daily basis. And no, I'm not being paid by them, but maybe someday. So I navigated on over to SEMrush and I plugged in Skillshare.com. I wanted to identify Skillshare's competitors. In your cases, I want you to put in your own site's domain because we want to know who your search competitors are. So unless you are for Skillshare, don't do it for Skillshare. So in SEMrush, you're going to plug in your domain and then you're going to navigate on over to Domain Analytics. Within Domain Analytics is this section called Organic Research. You'll be able to see your main organic competitors. That's the report that we want to go into because it's going to show you the different domains that you're competing against, as well as the approximate number of keywords that you're both targeting. So what's the keyword overlap in terms of the content on this domain versus the content on your domain? You can get a sense of the kinds of websites that are showing up there. Like any tool, SEMrush is only as useful as the ways in which you use the program, so you don't necessarily want to go after some irrelevant domains that really don't seem to have a lot in common with your site. Again, I know frequently our business competitors are different from our search competitors, though you would expect to see some similar industries, and you want to make sure that you're not, for instance, selecting Wikipedia as a competitor for you, unless of course you are Encyclopedia Britannica, in which case Wikipedia is your competitor, and I have bad news for you. They're doing very well. In this case, in looking at our competitors for Skillshare, we have a lot of different domains, especially EDUs. Now, I get why these domains are coming up. They're educational resources, and Skillshare also has educational resources. But really, if we want to be strategic about this, we do want to try to focus on websites that appear to be in the same industry as us. That's where we get to this kind of sweet spot between organic search competitors and real life business competitors, because Skillshare really is not going up against academyart.edu, and they shouldn't. They're not a university. But on the other hand, I do see other sites that look like they could be decent competitors. So for tonight, I want you to identify 6 search competitors from your website and share in a few sentences, 1 to 3, about why you think they're good search competitors for your site. While you're at it, so that I can help you with this process and so that you can hopefully get even better at it for the future, I want you to identify 3 websites that appeared in your SEMrush digging that don't look like good competitors. Please don't steal Wikipedia because I gave it to you. No, you can use Wikipedia if you want. But I want you to identify 3 that you think are not great search competitors, even though they're in, top 10, 20, whatever, and tell me in a couple words or a few sentences why you don't think they're good search competitors. And then I also want you to identify 3 different websites that you're kind of on the fence about. Like they could have made the cut and you may actually not be sure why they didn't make the cut. So I want to see what those websites are, and I do want your thought process around why you're on the fence about them. Try it out, see what comes up. They're, As people like to say, there are no wrong answers, but this step in the process is very important because we do want to make sure we're comparing our site against appropriate domains. So I want you to share your progress in the class notes section and ask me, as well as your classmates, for support. Don't hesitate to reach out with any questions. If you get stumped along the way, I'm here to answer any questions, and your classmates are definitely there to offer support or words of wisdom. Good luck.